this is actually will not be on the episode of For Ken's Sake. This is why the kind of setup's a lot different, because I just needed to get this video out to you guys because yeah, there are some. I'm kind of in the dark right now. I just got one light, but there are some weirdos out there that think they're part of the resistance, and I just want to talk about you guys real quick because it should be go without saying, but there was something that Bloomberg published during kind of like the campaigning stuff in the election, right? I just want you guys to show. I just want to show you guys something. I don't think I did a video on it, so if I did, it's a second video. If I did talk about this in the show, I don't think I did. What it does, it shows, this is on Bloomberg. I'll try to get the link out to you guys. It has the source information here, but it confirms what I think a lot of people know, aside from those who think they're part of some like resistance group. Now, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Trump or a Biden guy. I'm a libertarian, and neither of those are anything close to who it is that I am. And I know that triggers some of you guys. I don't really care. You know that. But what I want to show you is just a vast majority when you look at employees. Is what they're talking about is donating to campaigns. And you'll start to see something that looks very familiar in terms of the profession, as well as those types who donate a lot of money in order to get, the person that they want in office. And Biden was he'd always been the establishment guy. For whatever reason, you had a bunch of weirdos, particularly leftists, that thought, okay, we're the resistance because we're trying to stop this authoritarian guy, as if Biden was any different. But they like to think of themselves as they are like the underdogs here, right? That are clashing with the people that just want to oppress them. And it couldn't be anything further than the truth. What you're looking at right now, you see a bunch of just different professions. You got the U.S. government, people that are working for the U.S. government. Those government employees were predominantly giving to Biden. Google is here, Facebook here, employees here. And I think those two are particularly important because to act as if there isn't a bias when we talk about like how this impacts like myself, my channel, and the stuff that I do when I get those manual reviewers who try to give me a strike for medical misinformation, and then I have to raise hell, get my people behind the scenes involved, and then it gets lifted because they got those trigger happy employees. But you see that only 3% of the 6,900 donors were for Google. The 3% went to Trump, 97% of those went to freaking Biden, bro. That is a high number. To act like this, when you look at this and you look at that, again, these guys live in a different dimension, bro. They live in a completely different reality where they look at themselves as if they are the party, the resistance. And you look at these massive entities that are very, very uber powerful in terms of their influence. Looking at them, the Googles and the Facebooks of the world, in addition to the people that already work for the government, you are seeing that, we got University of California, AT&T here, where their slant is at, and it's clearly one way. It's like one-sided to, you see, you got a couple of these, and it's barely, right? You have a couple of these, slight majority here. A Walmart, which is probably the biggest entity that's even in addition to the U.S. Army, where it's like 50-50 basically. But for the most part, all these other entities as well is moving on here, where you see in terms of their profession. Oh, teachers, of course. Lawyers, of course. Nurses, oh my God, they were over there. Right here, professors. I mean, that's not a secret. We know they're a bunch of leftists, social workers, a lot of people that in the event that the federal government was completely eliminated, a lot of these people would be out of a job. Not all of them, but a lot of them would be because they're subsidized by way of the state. Down here in terms of business owners, of course, business owners aren't the ones that support Biden for the most part. Construction workers, interesting. Guys that work blue collar. So it's like blue collar like jobs here, carpenters, mechanics, guys that get their hands dirty. Drivers, truck drivers and stuff, machinists, homemakers. These guys seem to really, really support. This is one of the probably, if a lot of these aren't as subsidized, but these are absolutely subsidized by way of the state when you look at these farmers. So that's one thing that Trump had going for him in terms of these people that, I mean, Trump was lacing y'all up, and I obviously disagree with that. But all I'm trying to point out to you guys here is just, if you are, and I'm saying this sincerely, there's a lot of people that follow me who, you know, just run-of-the-mill leftists that may like my content that isn't necessarily, may agree on some of the things I talk about in gaming and stuff. And some of you guys think I rag on these leftists entirely. I'm too hard on them, and I'm kind of like dramatizing the influence and how heavy they are slanted in terms of what it is they control. Look, the proof is in the pudding, and it's always been there. The Democratic Party. Now whose fault this is, I don't even think that's necessarily as important right now, because that's not the point that I'm making. I've talked about even definitely from a cultural standpoint. So a lot of stuff that has been neglected by way of conservatives and libertarians. But that's not the point. The point right now is these big entities, and a lot of them, most of them, these establishments that you consider establishments, they're slanted Biden. They were slanted Biden, and that's just what it is. To act like you were ever part of the resistance because you just didn't like Trump, it was, of course, bullcrap. And I say this as a guy that, of course, don't like Trump either. I'm just not like mindless with it. You know what I'm saying? I can pinpoint things, done my video, pinpoint what it is that I have a problem with, not just because a professor or the government or some workers of the government, Hollywood elites or the economic elites in that regards told me. That's not my position. You were never a part of the establishment. You are the establishment. I know that pains some of you guys. You are the establishment. You absolutely, you're right there. Whatever it is that they say, do who they say support, you go out there and start buck dancing for them. That's just the reality of the situation. You were never part of the establishment, and most importantly, when you look at these institutions, people look at me and like, dude, you're this anarchist, and you want to pull the plug from under these people. But think about what it causes. No, you think about what power structure you have allowed to exist. When you look at these like with the universities and these uber subsidized industries. Powerful industries. If you got rid of like all you do as these people that are save the republic, they want to keep funneling funds to these people. All you are doing right now is ensuring their power structure, and they know that. They benefit the most off of that. This is why I'm always talking about, y'all want to slap band-aids. You're looking at the symptoms. I'm looking at the root of the problem. So when we look at the U.S. government, or when you look at people that work in academia and all these professors, how about this? How about we get rid of their funding, right? How about that? Not reform it, not get the right people in those positions. How about that? Maybe we'll start to see some growth in other aspects, but particularly with the Google and the Facebook thing, as these idiots sat and ever pretended as if those weren't slanted leftists. It was always hilarious to me. Always hilarious. You were living in a different dimension. When we talk about the bias, we're not stupid, dude. But I just want to throw that out there. I don't think I covered this, so I wanted to make sure that I got this. You're looking at the campaign, contributions and what have you over the last election. It is what it is. You're never part of the establishment. You are the establishment.